I'd love to hear your thoughts on the, when you walked away from our call and that inner guidance check-in and your sort of decision-making process in investing with me. I also had shown you a few different ways to work with me. So you also had to decide which way you would like to work with me if you were going ahead, So I'd love to hear your sort of thought process there.
Yeah. So there was on the call realization that I knew what package of the ones that you offered me what felt aligned with me. And then it was a decision, just do I do this package or not?
Yes.
So after our call, and I've created this or developed this process through many times of hiring support, where it's really just a matter of checking in with what feels right. And it's almost like, and you spoke to this earlier, it's like I pause and I feel what's right. And forever, since I can remember, I've had the instinct of what feels right versus not. But what has developed over time is having the courage and the trust to follow what's right, especially when it comes to something like a financial investment where the objective reality is there, for lack of better terms. And so what I did after our call is I just sat with it. I said, what feels right and not? And a clear answer actually didn't come right away. I think a lot of my gremlins were fired up. A lot of my fears were fired up. A lot of voices were even fired up. I was talking to my other coach at the time as well. And sometimes that's helpful. And sometimes it's just another data point that like kind of muddies the water a little bit. So there was just a lot of stuff that needed to settle almost after our call. And once it all settled, I again checked back in and I said, what feels right or not? And we had set up another call. Did we?
That's right.
Yeah. So between that time, I knew that there was a check-in point, and that's what I do with my clients as well. We immediately set up a follow-up call just so that you have time to let it settle. But also there's something in the calendar where it's like, and this is when the decision can come, to draw some healthy boundaries around that. So I let it be muddy. I let it settle. And then once it felt settled, I again came back to the question, does this feel right or not? And I was leaning toward this feels right. Once we got back on the follow-up call, then it was like reiterated and I was like, yes, okay, this is it. And again, like I alluded to earlier, it felt right. And yet it still felt scary. Like it was, the fear was still there. Now I'm on the other side of that where it just feels right. And the fear is like gone.
Amazing. So it's like decision made, but there's still this little bit of fear. And I know, like, from a marketing perspective, there's the emotional decision, and we make decisions with our emotions. And as you say, it's what feels right. It's a feeling. And so we'll make that decision with our emotions. And by trusting our gut and trusting our emotions generally, we're going to be right. But of course, then there's the rational side of our brains that are then going, but what about this? But what about this, Fox? Or, what about all of these other things? And so I think it's also so important for us, as for other service providers out there, whether you're coaches, whether you are like graphic designers or anyone providing a service for your clients, I think it's so important to reassure that person after the sale that you appreciate their business, that you are going to deliver to them, and even start with, something that you can deliver as soon as they say yes, that there's something that reassures them that they've made the right decision, because I think that's when the rational brain kicks in, and you'd know better from a psychology point of view. But I think we need to see emotion and also see rationality and make our decisions based on that, but also appreciate that this is what's going on in the minds of our clients when we're making these kinds of decisions.
Yeah, that's such a great point. And that makes me think of, you sent me a video right after I said yes, which felt so good, because it was just like, oh, she's here, like she's speaking to me. It felt so good. I send my clients a gift right after they sign the contract, just as like a, hey, like, thank you so much. You're here. And also you're taken care of. Also from my perspective, it's an abundant mindset where it's like stuff comes in, stuff goes out, stuff comes in, stuff goes out. And it's just that continuous flow is really helpful for me as well. And what else did I think of? Some of my other coaches have done other things. One of my coaches sent me, I had kind of a reward board for myself she knew about, and she sent me one of my rewards right away.
Oh, cool.
It was really cool. Some of my other coaches sent me some chocolate in the mail. I've seen it done in different ways, and every time it's just that like, like this feels right, and it kind of calms, that side of us that might still be in that fear mode.